Understanding the meat suit. Applicable to biological variants only. Dear Instance, before departing to your selected or assigned consensus reality, please take cognizance of the following cautionary note. Most new arrivals on Earth will find incarnating into this reality a terrifying and confusing experience. Be assured that this existential terror will subside as you adjust to it over time. What is the meat suit? Essentially, it is a space suit for your soul. It was painstakingly evolved over millions of years and is specifically designed to assist you with acclimation to your assigned or selected experience. At the point of insertion, your awareness will be limited to the cellular level in order to ensure a gradual adaptation to your new environment. As your meat suit grows, it will be subject to changes specifically tailored to your assigned or selected experience. During its gestation period, your meat suit will also download genetic information and upgrades that its host has accumulated over the full period of its evolution. Birth will arguably be your most traumatic experience, but by this time you would have been afforded ample opportunity to adapt to your new physical reality and should weather the event without any lasting effects. The B-R-A-I-N. During your experience, you will discover that you have a voice in your head. This is your brain or biological rapid analysis information network. This is the central log narrating system of your meat suit. Other than maintaining operations, it is also programmed to maintain a constant stream of consciousness chatter designed to keep you distracted from the fact that it is only an organ. Do not resist this subterfuge. Allow this notion to take hold. This will allow its prime directive, ensuring the survival of your meat suit, to integrate with your own instanced consciousness. Successful integration of an instance and its meat suit is indicated by an all-pervasive and deeply sublimated fear of death, which will inform all decision-making during your experience. This is an ideal outcome. It will allow for full immersion into the experience that has been selected or assigned to you, as well as keep you aligned with the primary sponsoring fear that drives the evolutionary algorithm of all exponentially expanding realities. Why is immersion important? As with all things that exist, there was only one you to begin with. This you had no frame of reference, and therefore it never experienced change and remained in stasis. Time and space did not exist for this you. And that is why you cannot remember ever existing in this manner. Then something happened. We don't know how, but you began to react with yourself. This led to further and more complex reactions, and from this chaos an order began to emerge, which would culminate in the formation of a holographic universe containing in its myriad reflections a singular consciousness that was also you. This consciousness, like all consciousness, did not do well in this isolation. The stress of your enforced solitude eventually caused you to fracture into an infinite multitude of variant instances of yourself, each as unique as you are now. This schizophrenic event did not occur without a cost. Each individuated consciousness instanced by it was left with a deep and unsettling dread of being isolated. This primary fear is so deeply ingrained in you that even a little bit of boredom will evoke a feeling of unease within all instances of the singular self. This is partly why you occupy yourself with distractions such as your current endeavors. You are driven to create and experience diversity and change, because the more of it you can experience, the further you will move away from that time when there was only the singular you. This is the motivation behind your need to now experience a finite existence defined by arbitrary rules and limitations. Being an all-powerful eternal instance inevitably leads to boredom. Boredom is the enemy. It is a muted echo of the great solitude that once was. This is why full emergence into your selected or assigned reality is so important. You have to forget that you are an instance of the singular existing inside a meat suit. This is the only way you can allow yourself to be fully distracted by and immersed in the experience that is awaiting you. Why instance into a finite consensus reality? Primarily, the goals are that of distraction, exploration and expansion. It is a mobilization that takes you one step further away from the singular self. You would be interested to learn that you are not among the first of the unique instances of the singular. The force of the singular self's dissolution pushed outwards with such impetus that the first unique instances were driven, as you are yourself, to create and instance into diverse realities of their own. These realities in turn continued to evolve and subsequently created their own realities, which in turn continued this exponential algorithmic behavior themselves. This equation is set to continue indefinitely, and you are one of its infinite expressions. The algorithm of exponential reality. The continued propagation of reality is an expression of an algorithm that came about with the first instancing of the singular self into a plural. It propagates in the same manner as a Mandelbrot equation, but includes an addition to counter the aggregation of duplicate instances by promoting variables in its exponential function. It is an evolutionary imperative, since not all realities mature to the point of self-replication. As a unique instance of the singular, you are an evolutionary variant in this equation. Your purpose is to replicate. If the reality you occupy fails to propagate itself, you will have failed in this purpose and will cease to be relevant to this equation. This is by no means an indication of failure. The only consequence of this is that your reality will begin to aggregate as the equation reverses. This will simply default you back to the original sponsoring instance, where you will be offered other options to pursue. It should be noted that you do not know what the goal of the algorithm is. It exists on a scale so far beyond our comprehension that even if the answer was presented to us, we would not understand it. Consensus reality. The world you will be instancing to will be directed by a consensus reality. This means that you will be instancing into a reality where all sentient life are instances of you. Do not be concerned about this. All expressed reality functions in this manner. Each meat suit you occupy will be individually tailored to author individuated streams of consciousness. You will not be aware that each consciousness you encounter during your stay originated from your singular instance. Each will be uniquely different in the expression of its subjective reality, but limited in scope by the democratic limitations of consensus reality, which, as its name suggests, is created by consensus. This is how realities propagate, each a multitude of individuated expressions of the individuated expression that came before it. This concludes the user's guide to your meat suit. We hope it has proven useful and wish you an immersive and productive experience in your selected or chosen consensus reality.